Would you please welcome Thor and Hulk? Look, straight up, last night you had the premiere. You Instagrammed a pic from the after party at 8:30 a.m. this morning. Have you been to sleep?
That was the after. That's it.
Was that like a later-gram, or you actually did it then and you were up till 8:30?
When I woke up, I posted it. But I have to admit, I went to bed late and I woke up early. My inner clock is broken. I think I've traveled over 7 different time zones.
Great.
And yes, I went to bed at 4 and woke up at 7.
That's a great effort.
Ready to go.
Excited. It must be weird for people being out when they're drunk and seeing you guys, because they'll be like, I was so drunk last night I thought I saw Hulk and Thor.
I just get away with a lot of stuff. It's like you just drank too much. We weren't there.
Who is the bigger drinker, Thor or Hulk?
Well, just on sheer maths, I think Hulk could probably handle a bit more, couldn't he? But then you've got the Viking sort of historic thing with Thor, so maybe they'd be good partners.
Equal.
Probably equal.
Yeah. I think they'll do their research later and get back to you on that.
So we'll tell you at 8:30 tomorrow, mate.
Congratulations on the film. So this is being described as the best Thor film yet. And, Mark, it's your first. So
yes.
It's down to you, buddy.
You know what?
What's the one thing that wasn't in the other ones?
There you go.
The big green guy.
Yeah.
And you know, we were in doing the Avengers Age of Ultron press tour, and all the cast were there, and Robert Downey and Scarlett and Chris Evans and so on. And they're all talking about Civil War and how cool it's going to be. And
Civil War that.
Mark and I were lurking in the background going, oh, I didn't get that script.
What's Civil War?
Like, oh, you guys, you're not in that one. And I said, well, we better be in the next one. And there you go. The film's
Here we are. We made the greatest Marvel film ever made.
Because of this. The greatest film. We kind of reinvented cinema. Some said reinvention.
That and then Citizen Kane. It's pretty much it.
Kind of neck and neck. Yeah.
It does look as though you have a lot of fun, Mark. I think you had a bit of fun last week. I don't know if it was an accident. You Facebook lived audio from the premiere. Was it really an accident? How did you work out that was happening?
It was an accident.
Okay.
It was a happy accident. That's it right there. See all those hearts? That was happening in my pocket. Yes.
What are those little bubbles coming out of your
Marvel
pocket?
asked me, those are the hearts of people loving you. That's what it looks like.
It's a lot of love.
It's a lot of love.
Do you have your phone here? Because feel free to Facebook Live.
They took it away from me. I Instagram lived on a Facebook Live today.
You what?
It's very subversive.
That's like Inception.
Yeah, it's a real...
incredible.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I have to ask you, when you got the script, were you more upset about losing your hair or your hammer?
No, it was my idea to lose the hair. It was... I think this was my 5th film playing the character and got pretty bored of myself. And so I called the studio and I said, we've got to change this in a big way and do something drastically different. And they said, yep, we agree. And then Taika, Waititi, our director, came on board and he said, I'm also sick of you and sick of what you've done. And I said, good, let's destroy everything we know and start again. And this film kind of feels like a standalone movie without all the continuity from the other ones, you know, and it was about reinventing it and putting a greater sense of humour in it. So we just did. We had too much fun and anything familiar, threw it out the door.
Does the hair take a long time? I'm assuming it's some kind of sewn-in wig number.
Permanently glued into my forehead. It's about an hour or so each day in makeup, so that was an extra hour I got in bed.
Yeah, and also you didn't have to carry around the hammer anymore. It's starting to sound like you were just more lazy for this
thing
one.
is heavy. I actually wanted to do less.
So women always flock over their hair. Is that wig still kicking around and can I have it?
I bring it out. I bring it out at certain times, you know, when the romance and with my wife is dipping. I'm like, well, honey, remember the wig? And she's like, I don't care, do the dishes. Change the nappies.
You're pretty used to bad hair, though, aren't you? Because I think that...
beg your pardon?
Well, I don't know. What?
Since when?
Well, I seem to remember many years ago when you were playing Kim Hyde. That hair was pretty rotten. Please tell me that was a wig as well.
Well, let's talk about those days. See, this was back when I grew up on independent cinema with Kate on this film called Home and Away, and about coming of age. You know, a lot of different dramas.
Yes.
And that haircut was essential. That was the period. That was what, the 70 years, 1973, I think.
Something like that.
Don't, you've just given away Kate's real age. And she's actually
Thanks, Tommy.
I did need to ask, obviously, it's a star-studded cast. Our very own, the gorgeous Kate Blanchett plays your sister, Chris, and for a lot of this movie, your sister, she's trying to kill you. Your brother's...
Say he's a sister. You can't give that away.
I didn't. Let's pretend I didn't.
On the Easter say.
This is not live, is it? We can rewind.
I think
Is that a spoiler?
I think I should remove everything else that happens in the rest of that question.
So we're talking about Kate Blanchett, this new up-and-coming Australian actress, straight off Home and Away, and she may have to go back to Home and Away at some point, as will I. No, she was fantastic.
There are a lot of family issues in Thor's life, though.
Yep.
Do you ever think just he should get a new family?
Absolutely. I think just get rid of all of them, and kind of don't keep digging down the family tree route, because there seems to be too many skeletons in the closet. See, I gave it away again. I'm just doing it.
Who was the most musical out of you boys growing up?
We were all kind of nuts, you know, and lucky we lived. We had a bit of property outside and got to expel some of that energy, you know, on the zip line or the rope swing or various kind of things we're trying to kill each other with.
That's a great backyard. That's amazing.
Zip line? That's amazing.
Well, we just tied a rope between two trees, and the only way you'd stop was you'd smack into the tree at the bottom. And basically about who could hold on the longest.
Oh, until you...
And a couple of things broke.
See, Hulk would have gone through that tree.
Chat about, stick around. More Thor action with Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo and director
With all due respect, I was high and drunk every time I did an interview last year.
Would you please welcome the next Taika Waititi? Sorry I had to shout at you. They were so loud. I couldn't do it.
It's the typical Ocker experience for me when I come over here. It's just people shouting at me. It's just shouting like, I can hear, I've got perfectly good hearing.
So directing this film and being in charge of these blokes, but filming locally would have been great for you, Chris, to be close to home. Were you all shown around? Did Chris play a good host?
He was amazing.
He was a good old tour guide, wasn't he? No? To the zoo.
You took us to the Splendor in the Grass.
Showed you the koalas at the Zoo.
The koalas.
And Mark has some interesting thoughts about koalas.
What are your thoughts about
I love koalas. I don't,
come on, mate. What's
I don't care. I don't care they have chlamydia. I don't care. I love them.
You're right, it's never stopped me either.
No.
Well, last time you brought a bit of Hollywood to Byron, they got bitten by jellyfish. Did you get them these guys in the water for
that was... Yep. That was when Matt Damon came to visit, and him and his wife were like, what about all the snakes and the spiders and all the scary things? Like, you'll be fine. Come on, that's not true. What about the sharks and the things in the ocean? Like, you'll be fine. Within 5 minutes of them swimming in the water, his daughter comes running up the beach screaming. And we're like, oh my God, what's going on? They're like checking her and like, well, nothing bit you, what's going on? She just keeps screaming, a minute or two goes by and they're like, what's wrapped around her? It's like a little blue bottle jellyfish around her. And I looked at Matt and I said, oh, well, I'll see you next time back on the next flight out of there.
Good to know you're all still with us. That's good.
Yeah.
It's worked out well. Taika, I have to ask you, because there's a lot of...
You don't have to.
No, I do. No, I actually do. It's written right here.
Oh, you do. Contractually, you do have to ask me whatever it is you're going to ask me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't contractually have to answer.
There is a lot of comedy in this film.
Who says that? Don't believe that.
But
that's just the
what I
rumours.
would love to know, though, how much of that was improvised? And if so, who's funnier?
92% of that was improvised, but you might not want to believe that because I just improvised that number. So it could be 67%.
Okay.
That's the thing with numbers and percentages. You never can tell. You guys improvised probably the most out of anyone in the film.
Well, we had kind of...
When people don't learn their lines,
Yeah.
you just say, oh, well, it's too late, we've only got half an hour left, make it up.
Yeah. We're encouraged to make it up and go for it. The script was very good, a bit of a guide, but we had a lot of encouragement just to kind of, as I said before, kind of just to do something wildly different and unexpected. And the film has a spontaneity to it that I think the other ones don't. and partly due to because we didn't know what the hell was going on.
Now, you said you were contractually obliged to answer that question, but you didn't tell us who's funnier.
Who's funny between who? These two?
Wait. There's a third person in this conversation,
missing.
which Taika plays Korg, the rock monster
And he's the funniest.
from outer space. With what kind of accent do you do?
Oh, he's like a Maori bouncer from K Road in Auckland. Yeah, I just thought, like, you know, the kind of movie I want to see is a movie where an alien talks like this and he just, hey, g'day, Thor. Yeah, how's it going, man? Welcome to this alien planet. If I could be of any assistance while you're here. My name is Korg. As you can see, I'm made of rocks. I know it's freaky. Every time I pass reflection, I also freak out a bit. Yeah, anyway, nothing to fear unless you're made of scissors.
So there it is. There's your answer to who was funnier on the film.
Chris, you spent a long time obviously chasing a career in Hollywood, and then when you finally got there, it feels as though you've been very quick to not run home, but just
ruin it?
No.
You kind of had it in your hands and you chucked it away.
But you spend a lot of time at home. Is that what's that all about?
What's that all about? Yes. What's that all about? Spending time at home with your family. Weird.
Well, I was there for 10 years and in LA and loved it and well, kind of loved it. I loved the work I was getting, but the place itself, I enjoyed it. But once we had kids, it was just I don't know. I was missing what I grew up with, and my wife's from Spain, and I brought her back here a couple of times, and she went, "Wow, this place is amazing." And then we went up to Byron Bay, and it became both of our favourite spot in the world, and we travelled a lot at this point, and. But he wanted to give the kids that experience, you know, and we could afford to be in and out of LA a bit more. And so now we have horses and all sorts of things in the ocean that kill you and snakes.
And do they know you're Thor? Do they know Daddy's Thor?
They do, and one of them thinks it's awesome, and he won't let me cut his hair, and he runs around, and he's got a little hammer, and it's so cool. And the other two are like, ugh, who cares? So 1 out of 3 is good, and I'm going to get rid of the other 2. So, you know, I mean, I like them, but if they're not in full love for me, then yeah.
Mark, weren't some of your kids in the movie? Had little cameos?
My daughters were in the movie, and they asked to be in the movie, and I said, okay, well, you can start where you belong, which is background work. And they said, but why can't we have lines? And I said, because you can't. And so they had a day of going through makeup and hair, and they were placed on their spot.
How cool.
And they never made it into the movie.
Have you,
It's his fault. Why don't you tell us, Taika?
Look, such is the power I wield. As a director, it's almost godlike.
Did you deliver the news to them personally?
They
Were you
weren't
the
any
big-
good.
They turned up at the premiere and realised, wow, we weren't any good.
Yeah.
Like many
And,
actors.
you know,
Oh, let's face it, no one's good in the
No one's
movie.
good.
Nah.
special effects make us.
Yeah, the special effects do wonders.
Some people asked, you know, what Taika's style? And I said, nobody's good.
Nobody's good. No, that's what with actors, you know, you have to realise they have very low self-confidence, and you just have to, you really have to work that. You know.
I can tell
It's kind of like we were wild horses, and every day you had to break us down.
Yeah, right.
Except without the rebuilding part.
Every day, if they threatened to revolt or if they weren't doing their jobs properly, I say, Chris, Mark, you know that Vincent D'Onofrio and Joel Edgerton are waiting out the back. And just, you know, waiting to come in and take your place.
Thor Ragnarok is out on the 26th
Marathon
of
Goddess
October.
is going to be here in the studio with us to tell us more about the motivation behind her goal. Jimmy.
Hi, guys. I just met her. Yeah, fantastic. She has some nice titties.